My best man stole my wife and I think he's back to take my girlfriend. 6 years ago I, 30M, was getting married. My best friend, 31M, Judas, fake names to protect identities, was my best man. I was getting married to Leah, 30F. Our friend group was very very close, there were 8 to 9 of us, and we always did everything together, days out, game nights, holidays etc. Anytime a friend would bring another female friend into the group, Judas would end up hooking up with them, as he was genuinely just naturally very funny and charismatic, which is a big part as to why he's everyone's best man. But he was never a threat to our relationships because we were all such good friends. Just over a year into our marriage, Leah and I start having issues. I'm in the army, so I'm at camp through the week, returning home Friday evenings and leaving again early Monday mornings. This meant we only really got weekends together, and I'd always want to spend them with the group, and she'd mostly want alone time, just the two of us, as she will have seen the group through the week. This amongst other things caused a lot of arguments and we ended up separating. While all this was going on, two of our friends, Judas' cousin Andrew, 29M, and his fiancée Phoebe, 29F, were 3 days away from their wedding day, Judas of course being his best man too, when Andrew confessed to Phoebe that he had been cheating on her with a coworker for 6 months, so could not go ahead with the wedding. On what would have been their wedding day, a couple of us went to Phoebe's for drinks to take her mind off everything, and her and Judas slept together. Worst best man ever. Those two had always been very close to be fair, but we were all very surprised finding out. They apparently drunkenly did it a few more times over the next month before deciding to end all that. While Leah and I were separated, I'd still be trying my best to resolve things and work it all out, but she was slowly getting less and less interested in the idea of us. I later found out this was because she was spending all her time with Judas. They had gotten into a relationship, and he was basically living in the house I was paying half the mortgage for. Worst best man ever. When I found this out, I angrily texted him, "You're dead to me," to which he replied solely with an image of the word goodbye highlighted on a Ouija board. Naturally, Leah and I went through the whole divorce process, and her and Judas were happy in their relationship. Judas, Leah, and Andrew were all out of our little friend group. The rest of us went out to celebrate when the divorce had finalized, and Phoebe and I ended up hooking up. Fast forward to now, Phoebe and I have been in a relationship for 3 years now. Leah and Judas have split, she's now with some other man, and he's single. Andrew has gotten married, he actually made it to the altar this time, and yes, Judas was his best man, so who knows what's going to happen down the line with the worst best man, and Andrew's new wife. Yesterday I wanted to surprise Phoebe. I set off to camp early Monday morning like I always do, except I've booked this week off in secret. I waited for her to go to work and then I came back to decorate the bedroom with flowers, her favorite chocolates etc. I park my car a block away so she doesn't know I'm home. When she comes home, I surprise her, but I see that she's on FaceTime. I'm 90% sure the face I see is Judas, but she very quickly ends the call. Early in our relationship she drunkenly confessed to me that she thought her and Judas would have ended up together after what would have been her wedding night, and that she was sad when he ended up calling that off for Leah. So my heart sank. She told me it was just her brother on the phone, but I don't believe her. I had also surprised her with a trip to Disneyland. She's always wanted to go, in the near future, where I had planned to propose, but now I'm unsure if I should go through with this, if Judas has managed to worm his way back into her life. I need help, I don't know what to do. I've been at my parents' awake all night, and I'm dreading going back home to have a conversation. Do I confront her on this? Or go ahead with the planned trip and proposal and feign ignorance for a happier life? I'm sorry this is so long, I have left it as short as I could. There's 6 years worth of drama I've tried to condense.
Relevant comments. That one girl you know 111. LOL, I was married to a dude in the military like this. He was also army. There was a group of them and they would all pass around the same women. They would party like animals too. It was the life of a bunch of horny single men. The ones that weren't single would likely partake and just lie. Unfortunately, I wasn't aware of all the crazy shenanigans at the time. This post is wild and I thought it could be fake, but based on my own experience, I think this kind of thing is a little too normal, weirdly in the military too, probably a basic training PTSD thing. OP needs to reread his post and see where he has his own fault. EW. Do better. Throw RA_IADK. I was in a friend group like this. My friend's fiancé had an affair with our other friend's wife in our very close friend group made up of several couples. It was a huge mess and there was fallout with the exes/different people hooking up with each other afterwards too. There were other inappropriate instances as well amongst the group. It initially feels like such a blessing to have such a tight-knit group of people, but it can, and 9 out of 10 times does, get messy in some capacity. Shitty part about OP's story is that no one in relation to him and his ex technically cheated, so he just sounds like a scorned ex still hung up on Leah, even though he's been with Phoebe for 3 years now, so he is technically dating not only sloppy seconds, but sloppy thirds from his friend group. Whether Phoebe is talking to Judas or not it's kind of a moot point because no one ever cut him out of the group, and Judas is still close enough with everyone to be everyone's best man, at least when it's scheduled, whether or not the wedding day actually ends up happening. He was the third pick of the friend group draft by Phoebe, no wonder he is on edge and has insecurities about everyone in this friend group. But I will say this is his own doing to a degree.
Update. Didn't expect to get as many replies as I did, so I figured I'd reply to all here rather than individually. I've read all the comments, and first of all I'd like to thank all those people that gave me genuine good advice. Secondly, there seems to be a few things I need to clear up. I am from the UK, when I refer to camp I literally just mean base. I don't have to stay there for the whole week, but it is a 90-minute, 2-hour drive back home. I know that doesn't seem far to you Americans as you have to drive 2 hours to get off your streets, but it's long for me. Nobody remained friends with Judas, I did put that in the original post, but a lot of people skimmed over it. Him, Leah, and Andrew all left the group around the time Judas and Leah's relationship was public knowledge. When I wanted to spend time with the friend group, Leah would have been there too, so I wasn't completely neglecting her. For those asking, Judas kept his teeth because I literally have not seen him even once since I found out. Another point a few skipped over, Judas and Andrew are cousins, so they were always going to remain friendly, and take each other's sides. I didn't immediately demand to see her phone to check the FaceTime because I panicked. I went into fight or flight and clearly chose flight, not really what you want from a man supposed to defend your country but hey. No, I don't know who Kel Knight is. Anyway, back to it, after leaving and going to my mum's, Phoebe had been messaging / trying to call, basically just asking to explain herself. I'd said I'd be back later. After posting on here and reading / replying for a while I managed to get some sleep. I'd been up all night. First thing I did when I woke up was call Phoebe's brother, explain to him my plan to propose, purely so he could be the one to break that to her when I chose to leave her. I also asked if he had been in contact with her recently. He said no. The FaceTime can't have been him then. I get back home, ready with everything I need to say, ready to call Phoebe out on her bullshit, but before I can speak she hands me her phone, tells me I can look through, that she's deleted nothing, and that she'd like to talk and explain rather than shout and argue. There's nothing in the FaceTime call logs, but in her regular call logs there's a Snapchat video call from Judas. I was kind of relieved that I wasn't just being a paranoid mess. But obviously my heart sank. She said that Snapchat was the only place she could find him because he was in her blocked list, so she just unblocked him. Sounds to me like Phoebe was the one that had gone looking to contact Judas. I read through a bunch of the saved messages on there. To be fair, it was mostly just boring chit-chat and talking about musicals. Stopped reading when I got to a message from Phoebe to Judas saying, "I miss you." Clicked on his profile to delete and block him for her, and saw at the bottom of that page when they became friends on there, it was dated just a week before. So at least they haven't been talking again for very long, I guess. What also caught my eye was in the saved pictures, there was a picture of her feet. Phoebe claims that's from a long time ago. Apparently Snapchat still saves all the previously saved pictures when you unblock someone. Does anyone know if that's actually true? I'm not too familiar with it. Either way, I deleted and blocked him for her. She then explained that she only readed Judas because she was always feeling lonely with me away 4 nights a week, and she just needed a friend. I don't know why our current friends weren't good enough for that, but whatever. She was making all the same complaints my ex-wife had been making before we separated. I've told her for this to work she needs to keep Judas out of our lives. I've told her I'll look for work outside of the army and leave. I'm a mechanic there, so I assume I can find work in a garage or something easy enough. We spent the week together and it was fine. I'm now currently back at base, and I'm deciding on if I follow through on that promise to leave and look for work elsewhere, or if I completely jump ship and literally just move elsewhere in the country, probably still look for work as a mechanic somewhere too, start brand new, and not have my career keep costing me relationships. TLDR, Phoebe had started speaking to Judas again because she was lonely. I'm either going to leave the army and stay with her, or I'm going to move cities and cut all ties with everyone, and start again. I'm still figuring it out. I think I've lost a lot of trust in her. Thanks for reading, thanks for the advice. Any further advice is always appreciated.
Relevant comments. Darren. I mean, why would you change your carer? So you can keep an eye on her? Dude. People get lonely. They meet up with friends for coffee, learn a new language, take up sports or crafts, nag their partner to stay home more. They don't reconnect with former sexual partners with a long history of dishonesty. That said, before your next relationship, maybe have a think about how two of the women in your life so far have felt alone while in relationships with you. Maybe you have really bad taste in women, but that part is probably true, and maybe you do actually ignore your partners until there's a crisis. Manic Pixie Dream Vixen. And that she messaged him saying she's missing him. And that SHE was the one who initiated contact with her ex, behind his back. I'd also say don't give up your security, army job, in this job market. Especially not for her. She reached out to her ex while in a relationship with you. Her ex who hurt you deeply and stole your wife. What, you don't have a brother she could fuck? 'Cause that's the only thing possibly more hurtful to you than reaching out to Judas? And you're not the one that needs to make changes. You didn't do anything wrong, you were doing your job and she's the one that fucked up. How did her fucking up lead to a conclusion that you need to change?